Have you ever had a patient touch your heart in a way that is hard to put into words? And then you have to face the devastating reality of losing them. If not, then you'll get there at some point in your nursing career. And this is the video that will prepare you for it. But first, let me say hey to my fellow nurses and nursing students. I'm Martin, I'm a Bachelor in the Science of Nursing and Clinical Nurse Educator. Today we're diving deep into a topic that is both sensitive and incredibly important: how to cope with the emotional toll when a patient who has become close to you passes away. Losing a patient can be a traumatic experience, and when you formed a close bond, it's like losing a part of yourself. The emotional toll can be overwhelming, leading to feelings of guilt, sadness, and even questioning your career choice. Let me start by saying it's okay to feel that way. It's a part of our human experience and completely healthy. You have to validate your emotions. It's okay to feel sad, angry, or even relieved in some cases. These emotions don't make you any less professional. They make you human. But there are some things you can do before you get there. Firstly, you have to set emotional boundaries. It is crucial because it is so easy to get emotionally invested, but we have to remember our primary role as caregivers. Techniques like mindful breathing, grounding exercises, or even stepping out for a moment can help you maintain emotional balance. Developing emotional intelligence can help you recognize your emotional triggers and manage your reactions better. This doesn't mean that you have to become detached. It means becoming more aware. A great way to develop this intelligence is to talk to your coworkers about what you are experiencing and what you feel, because that starts the emotional reflection. And still, sometimes when it happens that a patient comes too close, you have to remember that grief is a complex beast with many phases: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. Understanding these stages can help you navigate your feelings more effectively. But that also means we have to cope with it. Some ways I have seen coworkers and myself coping is by journaling, talking to a trusted colleague, or engaging in physical activities. It's all about finding what works for you and make it a part of your routine. In some cases, you need to seek professional help. This is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. Whether it's a counselor, a mentor, or a support group, an external perspective can offer invaluable insights into your thoughts and feelings. And you should never underestimate the power of peer support. Sometimes talking to someone who gets it can be incredibly healing. Many hospitals have peer support programs. You should consider joining one. And at my hospital, the peer support program is actually just the department. We have a self-supervising group we can join in on when we need to, and thereby helping each other stand strong. And most importantly, self-care goes beyond bubble bath, spa days. It's about mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Something like exercise, meditation, and even hobbies like painting, cooking can serve as an excellent outlet for this entire process. And sometimes you need to talk to your boss about the possibility to take some time off to heal. Grieving is a process, and it's okay to step back and take the time you need to heal properly, because we can only help others when we help ourselves first. It is like when I'm out as a firefighter, I have to make sure that I don't get hurt, because if I get hurt, I cannot help the people who needs it. So safety first, think of yourself first. But let's delve into the ethical considerations, a topic that often gets overlooked but is crucial in situations like these. When a patient who has become close to you passes away, the emotional impact blurs the line between our professional feelings and our professional responsibilities. And that is why the first and foremost ethical consideration is maintaining professionalism. While it is natural to grieve, it is essential to remember that we have a duty to all our patients, not just the ones we have lost. This means continuing to provide high quality care to others even when we are hurting. Yeah, I know it's a challenge, but I know you can do it. And confidentiality is another critical ethical aspect. Even after a patient has passed away, their privacy must be respected. This means not sharing personal details or stories without explicit permission from the family or as dictated by your healthcare facility's policies. And when we talk ethics, we have to talk about emotional transference. It can be a tricky ethical issue. It's when your emotions about one situation transfers onto another unrelated situation. For example, if the loss of a patient makes you overly cautious or hesitant in treating other patients, that's a form of emotional transference that needs to be addressed. So if you see a coworker doing this, it is okay to confront them. If you feel like you are doing that, it's okay to go to your boss and say, oh, I have a hard time. I'm tending to do this, and that. The most important treatment is to talk about it. There may be times where your emotional state could compromise your ability to provide the best care. Ethically, it's your responsibility to assess yourself and, if necessary, excuse yourself from certain duties until you are emotionally ready. Sometimes ethical dilemmas may arise during the grieving process. For instance, you might be tempted to attend a patient's funeral, but this could be seen as crossing a professional boundary. Always consult your institution's guidelines and perhaps seek advice from a mentor or ethics committee. Lastly, the ethical challenge of balancing empathy with detachment is ever present. While it is important to be compassionate, becoming too emotionally involved can lead to an ethical lapse, such as a favoritism or neglect of other duties. It is our duty to speak up when we see this ethical lapse. And with this hard topic in our mind, let's go back in time, back to Florence Nightingale, and check out my entire video series right over here on Florence Nightingale. And you might be surprised that she was not the saint you thought she was.